The clarity is not out there. It is all in your head. People say once you start understanding who you are, the reality becomes clear. No, your head becomes clear. Your mentality becomes clear. Nothing is out there. Everything is in here. The sense of success, the sense of failure, the sense of relief, the sense of anguish, anger, passion, compassion, empathy, it's not given to us from life. It is in us. And how we paint that canvas makes that picture good, bad, or ugly. Nobody leads your life. Only you do. And you can't outsource it either. Because your life is your reality. And what is life is nothing but reality. And reality means it's a flow, constant flow of energy. So our presence in that reality and the outcome, whatever we feel, does not change reality. But the outcomes affect us. So we live in this realm of reality which we call life. And whatever happens because of our actions or inactions, the feelings and the consequences which come by are only because of us. So we need to understand us, not life. Life is never tough. Life is same for everybody. Like I said earlier, life is just reality existing by itself. It's a constant flow of and consistent flow of energy throughout ages. So when we are born, we're just born into this reality. So whatever we do, or the lack of not doing anything, and whatever is the consequence of that, that affects us because we are living people and we feel. And the reason why feel is because we have expectations out of our actions. And we enter into this reality without being aware of our own capabilities, knowing the reality around us, and then we engage with it. The outcome is going to be completely based upon how much you know what you're doing and how much of it is just a routine action like most of us do. So if I know what I am doing, then there is an expectation of that action. So the results are also within that expectations, more or less. But if I'm doing acts on a mundane manner, that it's just a routine, I'm not even conscious and aware of what I'm doing, but it's just a normal routine, and whatever comes back at me, whatever this reality gives me back for my actions, is more or less not something which you would want. It's not a desirable reaction from the reality to you. So a wise man or a conscious person will look at this result, or somebody who wants to be conscious at least, looks at this result and knows that there is something wrong in the way he acted in this reality. So he looks at this as a feedback, does a little bit of homework, correct himself, and then goes forward. Because this is a constant stream running across with us. So we have to learn day in and day out, and if we have an expectation, our actions should be focused towards reaching those expectations. And that's exactly what I call success. So expectation is to be a better human being, to do things which you desire and get involved with the feeling of happiness because you succeeded in doing what you're doing. And success, understand this, success is just a measure of you doing the right thing. That's about it. Success does not end with one act. It's a continuous process. And failures are the biggest teachers because these are the ones which tell you that you are doing something wrong or it is not the right thing to do to get to a space where you want to be in. So you have a desirable interest, you have an outcome, you look forward to something, and then you're trying to act on what you know. But if the result is not desirable, if it is not what you expected it to be, 90% of the people blame it on life. the odd thing is this. Like I said, it's just a constant stream. It has nothing good or bad for you. It's just a reaction to what you do. So when I do something right or wrong, assume I did something in an expectation and it just blows out of proportion, comes back at me, and it creates an issue or creates a ripple which is like completely uncomfortable and painful, I am supposed to understand that I did something wrong. I miscalculated, or maybe I did not have the information, or maybe I went into it without any preparation. But 90% of us, we just blame the life and say that this is a consequence of life, and life is tough on us. So a wise man knows that a failure is an indication that something has gone wrong in the process of your expectation. So you don't have to give up. What you do is whenever you see a failure, you know that you have done something wrong. That's all it means. It means nothing beyond that. Look at it from the financial point of view. Now you find yourself in a financial duress. It does not mean you're a failure for life. It just means that at that point in time, all those financial calculations or whatever calls you took, or the lack of those calls, or you assumed a couple of things and did whatever you did not work out the way you expected it to be. So that means that what is coming at you is completely pure and true. What you're putting in to get what you expected is completely not right. So you're supposed to work on your input. If your output is not what you expected, then you don't blame the output. You don't blame anything. You have to reverse work on yourself. Because life or reality only gives you feedback. It doesn't do anything more than that. And the funny part is, we are a participant in this undesirable, let's say there is an undesirable outcome. And we say life is tough, things aren't working out for me, I'm unlucky, or whatever comes to your mind. It's an emotional feeling of depression and defeat. But did you remember that you are the main participant in this? It's you who did something and something else came through. If you assume a day that you did a couple of acts and then the result was not desirable, and let's assume another fact, that on the same day you did certain things and the results were desirable. And the third thing, which is the only available thing right now, is that the day passes by and you sleep through it. So the reality is just happening. Everything is bouncing back at you on the basis of what you're doing. If you don't do anything, nothing comes back at you. But you lose the time and opportunity to do something good or bad. But when you do something good, it comes back to you the way you expected it. So you acted on certain things which you know were right and you're confident about it, and your expectations were in line with your actions. And the third part is, you did something and it was an undesirable outcome and you blame life. How come in this situation you're blaming life? You are the one who's supposed to be looked at. There is no need for blame anywhere here. But what is needed is retrospection. What is needed is to know that in this endeavor of doing what I wanted to get or achieve did not happen, and there are certain places where I hit a roadblock. So you only look at failure as a correction place, as a place where you need to understand even more. So these are fantastic points which make you stronger. Because when you're succeeding, you will never see, you will not gloat on your success because you don't know, you're just passing through it. When you fail is when you stop, things come to a standstill. And then when they come to a standstill, there is two things. One, it might hit back at you, that might throw you off. So you know how big a mistake it was, or how much less information you had about the endeavor you were already taking in. So this is the only proper way of understanding life and you, or reality and you. We are the only people who have energies. I mean, in this space of two dynamics, one is so-called life, which I always keep calling it as reality because it is not partial to anyone. It does not help anyone, neither does it discourage anyone. So let's keep that as a constant flow of energy. That's why I call it a constant flow of energy. And then there is you. You are the one who's dancing. You are the one who's playing with it. You are the one who is using it or abusing it. So if you use it, that is like being conscious, understanding what you want, and you know what you're doing, the results are desirable. And if you're not, abuse it, you just for the lack of whoever you think you are, or for the mundane of life, or you're trying to misuse the energy, then the desirables are going to be completely on an opposite side. So who is there to blame in this? One thing is constant, another thing is the dynamic thing, and the dynamic thing is always you, human being. So blaming life is a sign of defeat, and a glorious defeat at that, because you're not willing to get up and fight. And it's not a war either, it's your endeavor. When you get stopped, you don't call it quits. You don't call that situation your enemy. It doesn't become your adversary. What it does is it's only telling you that you did a calculation, and these are the spaces where it does not add up. So any person with a half nitwit would know that he's supposed to make corrections, which we don't. And this is where the personality comes into picture, of who we think we are. If I know who I am, and I'm in the process of learning, in the process of understanding, I know every day is a new challenge. It's not war. Every day I have to make more friends, not enemies. All that we do, or all that we aspire to do, and then if there is an expected result we already have in our mind, or there is an expectation of a prize which we would like to receive, is completely based on our actions. And nothing can be left to chance. Whatever happens by chance is just chance. And that's what we call it as luck. And if you're depending on luck, then you're probably well off not even trying to do anything in life, because you will anyway land up being in the dirt. So understanding life in this a broader structure, it brings back to the same question. Who designs life? Nobody. We only design ourselves. How do you make your life happy and good? You can't. You can make yourself happy and good, not with life. Life is just constant reality. It has nothing to do with you. You have everything to do with it. Now, the reality involves people. The reality involves tangibles. The reality involves energies. So the energy movement and the people are the most important thing. So the more you engage with people, the more you cooperate with people, the more you collaborate with people, you become stronger and you become wiser. And when you become stronger and wiser, then you understand the reality more clearly than anywhere else. The clarity is not out there, it is all in your head. People say once you start understanding who you are, the reality becomes clear. No, your head becomes clear, your mentality becomes clear. Nothing is out there, everything is in here. The sense of success, the sense of failure, the sense of relief, the sense of anguish, anger, passion, compassion, empathy, it's not given to us from life. It is in us, and how we paint that canvas makes that picture good, bad, or ugly. This is a broad spectrum. Now, to know what to do with this reality is to know who we are, because if life, like I keep saying, is an enterprise, which it is, then inevitably you are the entrepreneur. If you are given a good car, a good plane, it's as good as its driver or pilot. Otherwise, it's just a junk. It does not do anything. It's a talent of the person who is flying or driving it. So if you're well equipped, resourceful, experienced, you will drive it in such a way or fly it in such a fantastic way that there is happiness, there is success, and there is this glorious experience of holistic, sensible feelings. But if you're bad, then of course it's going to be a very tough ride, and many crash and burn. So comes down to who? Comes down to us. And that is the main reason I keep insisting, not even calling, that life is the greatest endeavor we already have. And it's constant with each one of us. You could be somebody who is an artist, you could be somebody who is a professional, you could be somebody who is running a company, you could be somebody who is a social worker trying to do good to the world, you could be anybody. If you don't have your act together, you will not succeed. Nobody has to quit a 9-to-5 job or any job to do something brilliant off the hook, to feel that they're entrepreneurs, that they feel like they're doing something good or new. You can do better for the society. You can first start with your own family. For us to understand where we are, we need to know where we actually are, because that understanding does not come to us when we are like 5 or 10 or 15 or 25 years old. It might come at any given point in time. Whenever that happens, the sooner the better. Whenever that happens, you might find yourself being a professional. You might find yourself being a blue-collared person. You might find yourself jobless. Or you might find yourself running a company. You might find yourself anywhere. At that point in time, what sparks you, what gets your consciousness going, or which creates an awareness of your abilities or makes you feel that you can offer more, is all because of all these past experiences you have. It could be a mundane job, it could be something very minuscule in the eyes of the larger populace. But then whatever you have learned, whatever you've gathered as hands-on experience, as living your life through, and then having friends, having relationships, then with your learning abilities, with learning through your academics and learning through life, learning through experiences, all that which comes into you is unique to you. And that should create a sense of energy inside you. Most often, satisfaction is good, but once you hit the satisfaction process, you improve over that, and then you are hungry to do something even more better. That's how we evolve. Because perfection is rightly called an illusion. To achieve perfection, you have to be in the same place, in the same time space, and do the same thing and arrive at a result which is at the pinnacle of its finest. But it does not happen like that. Because as time goes by, we change. As time goes by, we learn more. As times go by, we experience better things. So our perfection keeps changing. Our goals keep changing. The best thing is they should be in the same line, but they should only keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Then when they become bigger and bigger, the challenge again comes down to the fundamentals of how much you understand, how much more you need to understand, how much more experience you need, and how much more help you need. And the help comes to you from people with experience, people with knowledge, people with information. So cooperation is the most important thing. Like I told you earlier too, it's odd that we take people as our enemies. We say the world is against us, and don't let people tell you that you're a loser. Nobody is telling you you're a loser. It's their impression about your action, a small bit of your action which they have seen. They might not like it for whatever reasons. That's okay, that's just a feedback. Nobody brands you a loser. Yes, somebody says that you are a loser. He's just saying it for whatever he felt it. Now, for you to accept that as a loser is when you give away your life, is when you give away your energy. That also tells you that you're not committed to what you're doing. He is or she is any much part of your life as anything else is. But what is most important is what you think of what you know. And when I say what you know, how much do you understand who you are? So if you understand who you are, you also know your strengths. You would not know your weaknesses, but you know that you can do a couple of stuff. So you can always learn. And strengths are also not something which are like constant, because you have to improve on those strengths. So it's a learning process all the while. So for a human being, consistently keep growing, to consistently be aware, and to consistently enjoy what he knows and reap the result of his actions by knowing what it is through trial and error, by practice, by being humble, by being a learner and apprentice all his life, he is going to succeed and keep moving forward. And every time you learn something new, you acquire something new. And it could come in the form of information, it could come in form of wisdom, it could also come in tangibles, because whatever you act, there is a tangible asset attached to it. So how you deliver is how you get back. Now this is how life functions, this is how you function, this is how your results are laid out in front of you. So you have a challenge. You have the pressure, maybe of time. Nowhere should there be anger, because anger is probably the only thing which disturbs the entire synchronicity of life. Because it is that brute, blunt force which is within you. It does not attack the world, it does not attack anything outside, it attacks you, it eats you from inside. You can't reach it in, you can't go to take it out. But the only way you can get out of it is that you are aware of who you are and accept it that this is who I am. And then start working from there upwards. If I am somebody who has messed up my financials, which is the basic thing for most of us, the reason we struggle to look for our needs is one thing. Because when you're looking for your needs, in a larger measure, you will still get something close to your needs. The problem comes is when you're looking at what are your wants. Before you get to your needs, you're looking at what are your wants. That is the space where we all think of running into shortcuts, running into methods. Is there any technology? Is there a technique? Is there a mentor? Is there some kind of a practice which I can do so that I can emulate this stuff and then achieve those kind of successes? That's not a success, but let's say you can achieve that kind of wealth. Because wealth gives you the power to buy. How would we recognize that? We only recognize that not through our resources and strengths. We always find somebody desirable. And they are desirable because for the things they own, we want those things. Now, next thing is we try and emulate them. What is it they're doing? How are they going about doing this stuff? Can I practice that? Can I copy him? Can I work these things out? That's a complete wrong way of approaching anything. When your boat is filled with holes, don't go sailing. And then to on an adventure like this, you won't last a few days. First thing you need to do is build yourself, make your hull stronger, make yourself stronger, make yourself seaworthy. And then build the resilience, build the resource, and build the mindset, and build an attitude to go get it. That's how we approach life. That's how we should approach what we desire. If you break it up, it's fairly simple. If I need to achieve something, I need to be resourceful. I need to be good in something else for me to make a barter so that I can produce that kind of an outcome wherein the income because of that action is going to be proportional, and that proportional is big enough for me to not just cover my needs but also cover my wants and then some, maybe even desires. How do we achieve that? How do we look at that? And what should be our thought process? My entire vlog will be only dedicated towards us, towards me, towards I. I am not important for the rest of the world. I'm very important for me because I matter to the rest of the world. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. What I do causes actions and reactions for others. If I do something resourceful, if I do something cooperative, if I develop something really nice, even a language which has less curse words, which has warmth in it, which has love, which is affection, I don't have to create. I am already creating an energy. I'm already creating an atmosphere of affection which is going to gel people together, which is going to reduce animosities, which is going to probably relieve people of many stresses just by talking. Here we're not even talking about doing anything. We're just talking about an interaction, a communication, a heartfelt one-on-one with each one. That heartfelt communication will reach any person. It could be a stone-hearted guy. He would still get it. Because you are committed to your energy, and a pure energy finds its way wherever it could go. It will find its way. It will find anybody. It's like light. Forget developing products. Forget getting some resources done. If you start from a space where you are comfortable, and you will get comfortable in only one place, and that place is if you know who you are. So the catch is this: if I know, I might not be the best guy, I might not be the most smartest, intelligent, whatever. If I just know who I am and I put that forward, the honesty itself radiates beyond your expectations. In fact, an honest person anyway has no expectations, because he just goes out in the open and tries to discover life, the reality. And the reality will absorb him, it will feed him with all its good energy. Because the intent here is to learn, the intent here is to offer, the intent here is to produce. So you will deserve that kind of attention from that reality, and you will get it. The practices are a different thing. How do you maintain yourself? How do you maintain your mindset? How do you maintain your focus? How do you get into concentration? How do you feel confident? Is a confident a thing or not? Is a trust a thing or not? Is trust important? All that comes in later. First, you need to have your ground zero completely at a base place where it is free to breathe, free to accept, and free to charge at will. That is the whole idea of life. And I will only be trying to dig into this part of us so that we get this bottom line sorted out. Because once the rot is complete, if there are holes in your ship, if the hull is strong, then the entire sea is your adventure. The idea is to get stronger, to get stronger with who we are, and together. See, the catch is to be together. To be together, you cannot have false impressions. You cannot say things which you don't mean. And you cannot get into a space of an intent wherein you're looking at offering something which has more advantage to you than the other person. Because the energies break, it doesn't sit well. If you empower more people, if you encourage more people, if you enrich more people, you are the one who's going to be the richest. Because those energies come to in bounds and folds that you can't even imagine. It's a tide of graciousness which lifts you so high. You won't even feel the high, but you are a satisfied man, you are a successful man, or a woman for that matter. So let's explore this. I will go a little more deeper to understand what kind of mindset is required to assess who we are from where we are. I will see you next time. Thank you. I am Raj Khan.